Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of At the Table. We're right in the midst of all the holiday chaos. And so we need meals that are going to be easy, right? We spend all this time cooking for holiday meals and sometimes we're just tired of cooking. So today we are going to do 2 easy one-pot recipes that will really stick to your bones and keep you warm and cozy as the temperatures drop. So our first recipe is going to be chicken tacos, and we're doing that in a multi-cooker or an Instant Pot as people know it. Along with those tacos, we have a mango salsa. So I've already got our 1 mango diced here, and with that we're going to add 1 diced jalapeno. Of course, you want to take out the seeds and the membrane. So put that right in here. Along with that, we have 1 minced shallot. We're going to add in about 1 tablespoon of lime juice. You can either use bottled lime juice or fresh squeezed lime juice. All right. And then next we are going to add cilantro. So just take your cilantro. You can do as much or as little as you want. I'm going to do about half of this. I like picking out the thicker, woodier stems like this because it's a lot. But you can leave the stems in. That's perfectly fine. Just gather this in a bunch and you're just going to chop it up. I think cilantro is great, and I think most people have, you either like it or you hate it. Luckily, I am one of those that don't get that soap taste whenever I eat cilantro. And if you want to, you can save a little bit of this to use as a garnish on top of your tacos. And we're just looking for a rough chop or mince here. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I will save a little bit of this to go on top of the tacos. One more pass with my knife. Add that in. It's a small bowl. I should have gotten a bigger bowl. But I think I can shake it up, maybe. All right. So just kind of stir this together. My shaking method didn't work for me. Now you can make this mango salsa ahead of time. That's really good. You want those flavors to all marry together. All right. And you can also set it in the fridge to kind of chill it up just a little bit. All right, that's all mixed together, and I'm going to set this aside. Now, in your Instant Pot, you're going to use the saute function here. Turn that on, and you're going to turn it on so it's on high. And you're going to add in about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil. And you're going to let that warm up and simmer in the pot. And as that's warming up, we're going to use about 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. So we'll add that in along with our cumin and our cinnamon. And we add it in now with the oil because we want those spices to bloom, for those flavors to come out. So we're going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and then a full teaspoon of cumin. All right. Stir this around. And you're going to want to cook this for about 30 seconds or until it's fragrant. We don't want to burn the garlic. while that's cooking and heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and open up our chicken. Normally you'd wanna use chicken thighs here. They're gonna cook quicker, but I have chicken breast and that's fine. You would just need to cut your chicken breast into smaller portions. That's sizzling up. Don't want it to burn. I'm going to now add in our tomato sauce. That's going to help break up and pull up any brown bits you may have at the bottom from sauteing the garlic and the spices. And then also add in about a tablespoon of chopped adobe pepper and 2 tablespoons of the sauce. So we're gonna get that in, and then we'll add our chicken, and we'll get this started as soon as we return.
At Fisher's, it's not just about fashion. It's about exceptional service. Experience top-notch customer care and find your perfect look. Visit Fisher's today and feel the difference.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. This service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network. Working quietly in the background, Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
Hey guys, welcome back. I've got our chicken in the pot here, and I just want to add in about 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And you can use the same measuring cup you use the tomato sauce. That's perfectly fine. It'll get some of that tomato sauce out of the measuring cup. Pour that right in and stir it together. And now you are going to put on the lid for your multi-cooker. Make sure that your vent handle is turned to sealing, okay? That's very important because we are going to be pressure cooking here. Lock it in place, select your pressure cook function, and we want it high pressure, and we're gonna cook this for 5 minutes, okay? So while that is cooking, we're gonna get started on our next recipe, which is an Italian sausage and kale soup. It's very good, very hearty. In my pan here, my saute pan, I have a pound of ground mild Italian sausage. You can leave it like this and just crumble it up, or if you want to be fancy, you can make little mini meatballs. So we've got this on high. While that's coming up, we're going to make kind of like a creamy sauce to help thicken this soup up. And you use the same ingredients that you use in the soup. So in your blender, you're gonna add in about 1/2 can of diced tomatoes. Now I have drained the juice from these tomatoes and I have reserved it here because you're gonna use that later on. So I'm gonna put about 1/2 the can of tomatoes in here. That's about 1/2 can. You're also gonna add in about 1/2 can of white beans. You can use whatever white beans you'd like. And you want to rinse and drain those beans. So I'm gonna put about 1/2 cup in here. And then you're going to put in about 1 cup of chicken broth. And you're gonna blend this together. So again, this makes like a really creamy sauce to help thicken up your soup as it cooks. So that has blended up. You can set that aside for now. And again, we're gonna wait while that meat starts to brown. We're gonna cut up half an onion. And you just wanna dice this onion up. There you go. This is a really good soup to serve with some like toasted French bread. So if you can pick up a loaf of that at your local grocery store, that's really good. You can slice it, butter it just a little bit, and put it in the oven and toast it up. All right. I can hear the Instant Pot over here. It's doing its magic. It's starting to steam and sputter a little bit, and that's fine. That's fine. A lot of people are afraid to use the Instant Pot because they think of the old-timey pressure cookers and how they would explode and things like that. But don't worry, there's tons of safety features on this thing to keep that from happening. All right. Our sausage here is starting to cook, so let's break that up. Now it's a little hard to tell, but there's a little valve here on your pressure cooker or your multi-cooker that will pop up whenever the pressure has been reached. And not long after that happens, your screen here will start the time, the cooking time. I think one of the things people run into whenever they're using a multi-cooker is that they think, oh, it's going to be fast. It's going to cook this roast in like 20 minutes. And yes, that's true. But what they don't account for is the time it takes for the pressure to build up and then also for the pressure to release. So remember, whenever you're using that, make sure you take into account that time as well. Crumbling up and browning nicely. I'm going to finish browning up this meat here, and after it browns, I'm going to drain some of the fat off, but leave some of it in there because you'll need that to saute your onions and bloom again the garlic and the spices we'll add in. So we're going to take a quick break. And whenever we come back, we'll check on our chicken here in our Instant Pot and finish up our soup.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
At the Reedy Mark, we take pride in a unique, distinguished customer experience. We specialize in handcrafted cocktails, allocated bourbons, as well as gourmet signature food items exclusive to our menu at the Reedy Mark in Roseboro.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
All right, guys, we're back. I've got the onions here in our pan for the Italian sausage soup. We're going to brown those. Turn my heat down just a little bit. I want those nice and translucent. Our Instant Pot has finished cooking, so now we want to do a quick release. So that is basically just turning the venting handle or the steam handle to venting. So I'm going to do that now. Gets a little loud. All right, our onions are doing great here. I'm going to add in a little bit of Italian seasoning. Again, measure with your heart, but you could say about a tablespoon. Stir that all together until it's fragrant. Now, when the pressure has released here, that little indicator, little valve I was telling you about earlier, it will drop back down. So once it has dropped down, that means your pot is safe to open. So we're gonna let that sit there for just a minute while this is sauteing up. All right, those are looking good. So remember that sauce we made with the beans and the tomatoes? We get to use that now. So you're going to take that little sauce and you're going to pour it right in here. Oops, wrong spoon. You're going to stir it together to coat it. Very pretty color. And it'll already start to thicken up, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what you want. Now, the juice that you reserved from the tomatoes, you can pour that in. You can add in the rest of your tomatoes. Stir that together. Now lower your heat on your burner to about medium. And we're just going to let that come up to a slight simmer. Okay. Now let's open up our Instant Pot. So pull it off. Always open it away from you so you don't get a facial. All right. That looks great. Now your chicken should fall apart, should shred. If it's not, you can always cook it a little longer, but we also want our chicken to be at 165 degrees internally. I'm going to grab a thermometer so we can check that temperature. All right. And yeah, we're good to go. So I'm going to take this chicken out and I'm going to shred it. I'll let it sit there for a few more minutes just to let it cook a little bit more. What I like about your multi-cooker is that it will keep your food warm for you after it stops cooking. So it's not going to cook it, it's just going to keep it warm. So switching back over here to our soup. Give that a good stir. It's starting to bubble. And now we want to add in our kale and our beans. So we have here about a pound of kale. You're going to want to wash it and make sure you spin all the water off. And then you're basically just going to tear it. Tear it from the thick woody stem into pieces and add it right into the soup. Simple as that. And you're going to do that. You may have to do this in batches because it can get a little crowded. And then once it starts to wilt down, break down, then you can add more as you need to. And if you need to adjust the heat on your burner, that's fine. Turn it down. You don't want it to boil, just a nice simmer. So I'm going to finish tearing up this kale, get it into the pot, and get it cooked down. And then I'm also going to get our chicken out and get it shredded. So whenever you guys come back, we will finish off these recipes. All right?
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
Welcome back, y'all. I'm finishing up our Italian sausage and kale soup and our chicken tacos in our Instant Pot. So I've added the kale. You can see it's wilted down. I've added the beans. The last thing that we have to do is add our cooked sausage back in, and then we'll let it simmer for about 15 minutes. So here's our cooked sausage. Stir this back in. Now, depending on how you like your soup, you may like it thicker, you may like it a little thinner. Have a little bit of chicken broth on hand. That way you can adjust the consistency of your soup. I think I'm going to add just a little more broth here. All right. Stir it so that it mixes together. And then add your lid back and simmer for, like I said, 15 minutes. During the break, I shredded up the chicken for the chicken tacos, so it's nice and shredded now. Now what you'll do, because you want this sauce to thicken up a little bit, you're going to turn the saute function back on your Instant Pot. So saute, and you're gonna let it saute or simmer for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. So you'll set your time to 5 minutes, and you'll just let that sauce thicken up. While that's cooking, thickening up, you can slice your bread, or we'll slice our bread for the soup. Like I said, a good French loaf or Italian bread is really good to go with this soup. It's very hearty, and the bread is also a good hearty, crusty bread, so it'll soak up those juices very well. And you can be fancy with this. You can cut it on an angle. And I like cutting mine into really thick pieces. I mentioned before that you can butter this bread. You absolutely can, or you don't have to butter it. It's great either way. Just stick it in your oven and let it toast up. Try and get the outside a little crispy. And also the tacos, you can serve those with either flour or corn tortillas. I like the small round ones. Get our salsa back out. But the good street taco size tortillas, again, either corn or flour. And you can either heat those in the oven, or you can heat a pan on the stovetop and put them in those and turn them one side to the other. Again, you just want them warm. Let me grab a pan for our bread. I'm excited. It all smells so good in here. Bread is in the oven to toast up. Gonna give our chicken a good stir. And it's starting to thicken up. We don't want runny tacos. All right. There's that. Kind of clear off my cutting board here. And get ready to plate one of those pretty tacos. All right. It's looking good. And then top that with our mango salsa. And you can add extra cilantro, you can add cheese to this, whatever you want. Let's check out our soup, how it's doing. Looks great. I love those pretty colors. All right. Now this, again, like I said, you can serve it with the bread, put it in a bowl, and you can absolutely shave a little bit of fresh Parmesan over the top. So there we have it, 2 easy one-pot meals that will keep you warm and toasty during the holiday season, and something simple so you don't have to slave away in the kitchen. That's all we have for this week. See you next time.